welcome back to the MotorFab YouTube channel. Bit of a different start. We're not in the workshop this morning. We're in the big Chevy truck, off to pick up a camshaft. Hopefully, last night I was trolling Facebook Marketplace and I found a cam it's not exactly what I want to use, but it's pretty close, and I think it's going to work pretty nice. And to me, that's the essence of a junkyard build. Is slap together. You grab bits that you got laying around, and you grab bits second hand that you find cheap, and you slap them all together, and sometimes they actually work. So we're going to go and grab that. So normally I'd start off in the workshop, but we've had a bit of a disruption to our day, which is a good disruption. It means parts. It's come at a good time actually, because the parts, everything's slow at the moment with COVID-19. So it's taking longer to get everything in and get delivered. So everything's hold up. So it's really slowing me down with this build. So it's actually good to get some second-hand parts and hopefully speed things up a little bit. So we'll go and do that. I'll be back in the shop shortly and do some more work on the Monaro, because it still needs lots of parts, but it needs lots of hours. This is my favourite part of the day. Ready? First big hit for the big Duramax. Just got to get her up to 100, and we're entering the highway, and I love that sound. So yeah, look out. We're going to go get the cam, and I'll keep you updated. Sea Dog's rolling in the back there, and he's winter warm. He's got his jumpy on. It's a bit chilly. I've got the heater cranked up front here, but it's I know all you Victorians are teasing me because us Queenslanders experience it's 14 degrees. It says up there on the mirror, so it's freezing cold. It really is a bit chilly for us Gold Coasters, but hopefully it warms up again soon, eh? Righto, don't forget, like and subscribe. I'll see you soon. Rightio. We've got some exciting business to talk about now. This dirty old Monaro of mine that I decided to put together as a bit of a novelty thing is really, really blowing up. I'm super excited. I'm amazed. The reach of this thing is insane. We're getting a lot of interest from America, New Zealand, South Africa. It's fantastic. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys. And that interest has brought an opportunity to us all, actually. Now, the guys down at VPW Australia, down there in Epping, Victoria, if you don't know what VPW is, Google it. But no, I will go into some detail and explain to you a little more about what VPW is. It's it's a dream shop. It's where us boys who like cars' dreams come true. It's a superstore of performance parts, engines, gearboxes, diffs, you name it, ECUs, brakes, tyres, suspension, you name it, they do it. Which we'll get more into detail about very shortly, soon, however you want to say it. So they've come to me and expressed their interest about getting involved with the channel. As you know, with this build, I'm pretty well sorted out with my second-hand parts that I scrounge up and put into this thing. So I thought it would be a good opportunity to get something happening for you guys, the fans, the followers, the people that have actually made all this happen by supporting me in what I've been doing. Without the followers and the interest that I've received, it wouldn't have grown to this, and it's going to grow a lot bigger, obviously. I can see that, and I really do appreciate that. I'm humbled by it. So I've got with the guys at VPW, and I put together a little deal. So this is how it works. You guys are going to get a discount just for watching the MotorFab YouTube channel. So what's going to happen? As of this episode, there is a discount in place. So very soon, I'm going to give you a code word. And that code word, you're going to be able to put into the website and into the VPW website, and you're going to get 10% off discount for anything in the store. So whether you want to buy a whole motor or you just want to buy something small, spark plug, who knows, you're going to get that discount just for watching. And as the time goes on, I'm going to work hard to bring you guys more deals like this. I'm really happy that this has happened. It's going to be great for myself, it's going to be great for VPW, it's going to be great for you guys. So it's win-win for everyone. And in my experience, whenever something's win-win, it's a good thing. So basically, I'm going to cross now to a little bit of footage to show you what VPW is all about. Let's have that now. There you go. That's a quick little video of VPW. In essence, that shop is crazy. Now, more importantly, I'll put a little thing on their website up now. There you go. So that's the website there. So if you want to buy something, if you need anything for your project car, your street car, your drag car, anything like that, circuit car, you name it, or motorbike. They do custom motorbike stuff too. Go onto the website, order online through the site, and use this code word right here, right now. Boom. There it is on your screen. Use that code word, nice and simple. It's a no-brainer. Use that code word and you will receive your 10% discount off anything you buy. And you can do that as many times as you want. It's not restricted to one sale. You can do it as many times as you want up until June the 21st this year, so not too long. You've only got a few weeks, so shop up big while you're sitting at home in COVID restrictions or whatever it is you're doing, or while you're working on your car. Order now, 10% discount. It's money for jam. Enjoy it. Yeah, I'll get working on some more deals like this, but I'm really happy to be able to bring you this one. And yeah, I'll go through a little bit of stuff now too on some of the brands and stuff that they do. It's yeah, say if you're building a car from scratch, everything, cylinder heads, pistons, camshafts, complete engines, transmissions, converters, brakes, tires, wheels, you name it. If there's a fuel pumps, ECUs, anything on a car, any of these cars that you want to build, they will have it on their website. So rather than sitting there at home at night time, because a lot of times I know what it's like. You get home from work, you're at work, you can't be buying parts for your car while you're at work. So the easiest way is to jump on eBay. eBay used to be cheap, but these days you will find you're paying more than what you will pay if you just go to a good, parts distributor or big retailer, wholesaler, any of these things. We sit back and say, oh yeah, look, America, they got Summit. It's easy. Well, we've got things like that just here. You just got to look and get into it more. And deals like this really help because 10% off performance parts is quite a big kick. So yeah, enjoy it, guys, and hope you appreciate it. And let's get down to business. Righto, so here is the goodies that I was driving to Brisbane for earlier. This is my new camshaft, which is second hand. I just noticed that the box that the lifter's in is actually originally at some stage, not for this application, but some stage prior been sent to Ricardo's Auto Works. I know Ricardo and I believe he watches the channel, so g'day Ricardo. Funny how a cardboard box can do the rounds. And small world, eh? Also, yeah, don't double bulb me in the future, Ricardo. You guys really don't know, but Ricardo and I had a race at a Kenda round, and Ricardo thought he was being polite because my car can be slow to spool at times and a bit slow to get up on the plane, and Ricardo thought he was doing a polite thing by going in 2 bulbs and letting me take my time to come in, which I didn't even realise, and neither did Ricardo. Hey Chevy, what are you doing, mate? Checking out the cam, mate, buddy? Nice hoodie. See you, champ. Yeah, Ricardo didn't realise, and he just thought he was being polite, and he brought the second bulb on for me to let me take my time, but it actually brought the 7-second rule in, and I wasn't ready and didn't know what was happening. What are you doing, mate? And it red lit me. It's my own fault because I didn't get up on 7 seconds because I was taking my time. But yeah, it was pretty funny, and Ricardo came and apologised to me, and I said, don't worry about it, because I didn't actually even realise what had happened either. And then shortly after, we all learned of the 7-second rule. And then they took the 7-second rule away, and then they brought the 7-second rule back, and I'm all for it now because I've tuned my car to come up in under 7 seconds, and it makes racing a lot easier so we don't get burned down and have converters melted and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, back to the camshaft. So this is a hydraulic roller lifters. Not what I explained was going to happen at the start. I said that it would be a flat tappet hydraulic cam originally. So let's explain why. So basically what's happened is, let's walk around for a bit so you got more to look at. What's happened is these guys down south, the guys at Street Machine and Harry at Hall Ass Garage, they want this big race to happen as much as I do, and they've all got big tyres, rear clipped cars, turbo LSs, which is awesome, it's great, but I've actually, when I bought this big block, didn't realise that it was probably the smallest heads available on a big block. So in a way of just putting a bump stick in this motor and going from there, it's not going to go that well, because these little peanut port heads, if I actually had got a year or two later into the next series of big block, the Gen 6 I think it is, I would have got a smaller combustion chamber and a bigger head, and it's just unlucky. But so they need screw-in studs, larger valves, a lot of porting, guides, seats, everything done. So to do that to those heads is a bit of a waste of money, because they're never ever going to flow. You know, I actually think a stock motor won't rev past like 4,900 because the heads just choke the motor. So I've been looking around for another set of cast iron heads, just so it is just a cam swap junkyard motor, but they're a bit tricky to find here in Australia. They sort of come and go, but Guy Hall from Diesel Australia, he really good bloke. Known him through racing for a while, and he is champ. G'day, mate. He's said to me he's got a set of heads for me, a set of alloy heads that are a little bit tired but perfect for what I need. So he's done me a really good deal on those, and the alloy heads have allowed me to run a hydraulic roller cam, which I'm really excited about. Now, if you don't know, the problem that you run into with hydraulic rollers, you see these he's got all sorts of weird things going on. They got a little bearing that goes in the bottom there, so the spring can rotate, I guess. The studs tend to pull. There's a lot of work you got to do to these heads to put a hydraulic roller in, or any roller camshaft for that matter. Again, if I had got a couple of years later motor, the Gen 6, their factory hydraulic roller. So it's just unlucky that I got this particular engine, which is definitely not a performance-orientated engine at all. So the cost of doing up these heads is probably as much or more than the cost of buying a second-hand set of aluminium heads. So I've gone with a second-hand set of aluminium heads, which I don't have here yet, that I will have shortly, and a second-hand hydraulic roller cam. So it's going to give me a much nicer combo. So with the racing mine happening, and the other guys that look like racing in this junkyard build are all running turbo LSs. So they're all fuel injected, big tyres and rear clips and all that sort of stuff. And I don't make excuses. I'll give them a red hot go, but I'm coming there with standard suspension, really small tyres and dirty old carburetor big block, tuned with the screwdrivers. But the heads and camshaft are really going to help me be able to keep up with those guys. I still can't make the power that they'll be making, but I'll at least make something a little bit closer. So let's explain back and forth. Here we go, back to the camshaft. And most people would know this who are watching the channel, but for those who don't, I often get comments saying thank you for the simple information I give up. This is a dirty old cam that's been out in the yard. This is a big block cam. It's a flat tappet. You can see how pointy the lobe is. And this new cam that we've got, it's by no means a big cam, it's only small. Like I said, I'll pop the specs up in a sec. I've got nothing to hide. It's a hydraulic roll, so it's got a nice broad flat. So the reason why, because of the roller on the end of the lifter, it can roll up a steeper ramp basically than a flat tappet can skid up there. So this ramp can be steeper, which enables this area here where the valve's open to be longer, flatter. So that's basically it, but it means more aggressive spring, and the more aggressive spring has a lot of work to put in the old heads. So a lot of machine work and add-ons, whereas see, these are the old valves there. Those heads have actually got a really small valve in them too. So yeah, so that's what's happening with the engine, which it's going to speed things up because you see I've been a really lazy boy and I haven't welded up my sump yet. Started and got interrupted. To the people who were sticking around just because they wanted to see how fast I could go on a peanut port big block, don't despair, don't drop off, because the heads aren't going to get thrown away. I'm going to put them to the side because I actually do want to see what I can do on that original engine combo down the track at some stage. My only reason for changing the direction and changing the combo now is, you know, I'm pretty competitive, and if I'm going to go to this big race, and if it's down at Heathcote, I've got to travel a long way. So if I'm going all that way to race, especially on a full-size steel body street car, stock suspension, small tyre, I definitely can't go with all those disadvantages and be underpowered. So I just don't feel that, even with the nitrous, I don't feel the peanut port heads could make the power that I need to keep up with the turbo LS. So in the interest of making it more exciting for everyone involved, I'm just adding a couple of second-hand parts to the old girl to make it go a little bit faster. But down the track, we'll revisit the peanut port heads because I put a lot of hours into porting them already. So I'm not going to throw them away, and I will come back to them.
Drilling out spot welds.
$500 a week again asking me how to drill out spot welds. Go to Trade Tools and get yourself a spot weld drill bit. So much easier. Gibbo, I've got a surprise for you.
Yeah, did we?
I need help with something with the car, mate.
What?
I think you might be pleased about this. Gibbo's working on the Torana, we'll come back to that. You better act surprised, mate.
Oh, stop it!
Hey, how long have you waited for that?
Ages. No more compressor issues.
We've got some pretty fancy gear at the shop, as most of you probably seen, but we've been using the crappiest compressor in the world for about a year now.
Beautiful.
So we just splashed out and bought a new compressor. There we go. Nothing special, just a Renegade, but with 2-year warranty, we'll take it. Bro's working on the tubs in the Sorry I didn't show you what we're working on. Hatchback Torana. Is this welding the seam of the chassis rail back together. Here's our tub, our standard tub moved inbound. You can see we're going to put a strip in it. So it all works out quite nice. Show you this side while it's apart still. You got to fill in, that's where the coil spring normally sits in the standard car. So you got to fill that piece. Fill in the rail where the tub closes up the edge of the rail. Trim it back to the rail. TIG weld up the seam. And shift the tub across. Comes out nice and neat. It is a little bit of work. And then that allows you to fit. If you modify the rail a little bit, notch it at the back, you can get a 275 60-15 on there, which we've done a few cars like that before. But this one here is running a 255 on an 8-inch rim, so it fits without modifying the rail. So it's all legal that way. There's no notch in the rail. It sits in there nice. We'll go a bit lower yet. There you go. So we'll keep you posted on the progress. So a quick little update on the hatchback. So we got both the tubs, the standard tubs are pushed across, moved in, put a band in there. You can see young Gibbo's done an amazing job of getting it to fit up nicely. And sorry about the light, guys, it really is a dark day today. And tackle those strips, so we weld those in, and then that's your factory tubs done. Seems to be the way everyone's doing them these days. Instead of putting nice big bead rolled drums in there, everyone wants the standard tub moved across. I'm easy, I don't mind either way, but it does look nice when you got a fat tyre under there, but then you pop the boot or whatever, and you can see the still looks like a standard car. It's pretty cool. So that's the way that this fella wanted to do it, so that's the way we've done it for him, and I like it. I really do like it. This is going to be a cool build, this hatchback. Stay tuned. Righto, peoples. We did a little tuning, data logging segment last week, just to show you guys why I use the transmission, the 3-speed transmission, why I did the oil pan, the way I did it, and I got a lot of messages and comments and stuff asking for more. So I'll just give you a really quick rundown. I'll try to keep it simple because I get carried away with this stuff and I can waffle on for hours. But so this is we're just going to grab a pass. This is 2019 Radial Riot, which is a 5.04 at 141.85 mile an hour. This is our first. I always start here. Trans brake input state. So that's when I push the trans brake on. That's when I've let go of it. And these bumps here are the trans brake, the bump box to creep into stage. And then you go RPM. This is the burnout, keep it off the limiter, blah blah blah. It comes up on the trans brake, hits a 2-step, sit on the 2-step. We'll go manifold pressure in there as well. And you'll see that creep. So we leave the line at 12.6 and 3,797, close enough to 3,800. Boost ramps up, RPM ramps up, and then we shift gear, we run at the back door. I actually pull boost out in the top end because my turbo is run out of puff. So if you go exhaust manifold back pressure, you can see we're really starting to get high here when I'm trying to run a bigger boost in first gear. So I taper it off to get that under control. You can see in the top I'm 55.8 psi back pressure to 34.4 psi of boost pressure. But you can see on a peak I'm at 80 psi to 37, so I'm more than 2 to 1. So it's too much pressure. So there's no point trying to flog a dead horse, so to speak, and keep running that pressure at the back door. You'll see the flip side of what that other problems that creates. Air intake temp. The flat line here is the top of the sensor. It won't read any higher, which is 120 degrees Celsius. And you'll see we hit that by... sorry, I haven't brought race time in yet. We'll bring race time, which is just a timer that counts from the release of the trans brake button. 2.36 seconds, we're off the scale on air intake temp. I'll go a lot more in detail about this sort of stuff down the track, especially when we start racing again too. But I'll show you a couple of interesting things here. Right, so this is a gear ratio calculator. 28, my gear ratio is well wrong too, but 1.8. So we're going to go in first gear to reference this back to the data log. So it's a 28-inch tall tyre. It's a 1.8 ratio first gear. It's a 3.25 ratio diff rear gear. So you can see here the results for that. This is the mile per hour you'll be doing for that RPM. So this is first gear. So these things are really hard to calculate accurately, but you can have a play around and get a rough idea. So something to take into consideration here is converter lockup. So if you look here where you shift, when you're pulling that higher gear, the engine is going to push up hard against. If the vehicle speed is up high enough, it's going to be above it anyway. But you can actually see here, this sharp rise here is while the converter isn't completely locked. And then as it tips over here, the converter is locking up, which just so happens to be pretty much exactly the same RPM as it drops down to on the shift, which is 6600. You come over there where it tips over 6600. So it's safe to say that converter is locked as tight as it's going to go at 6600. If you come, it actually locks a little early where it tips off there. Just there is where it's starting to lock up the converter, which is conveniently 1.01 seconds into the pass, which makes our numbers a bit easier. So at 1.01 seconds, we're doing 6,500 RPM. If you go across to that other graph here, 6,500 RPM is 92 mile an hour. We'll grab another one here. 92 mph to kilometers per hour for us Australians is 148 kilometers an hour. You'll see in a sec. There you go. Meters per second. So 148. So, oops, wrong one again. So at 1 second in the pass, we're doing 148 kilometers an hour. Judging by that, as best you can calculate it, a little bit of slip maybe, probably a lot of slip, maybe somewhere between 10 to 20% slip. So you're probably not quite doing 148, but you're definitely doing more than 100 kilometers an hour. So for your supercars that, you know, your Bugattis and stuff like that rave on about 0 to 100 in 2 seconds, yeah, we're doing a dirty old ute. Street car does 0 to 100 in less. We don't actually know where because the data's too hard to calculate, but it's doing it in less than 1 second. So when you let go of that trans brake button, it does feel like you're being hit up the bum by a truck. It's fairly aggressive, and it is a very quick trip to 100 kilometers an hour. As you can see, in just 200 meters, it's doing 141 point something mile an hour. So, and 176 mile an hour for 400 meters. So it is fun, and that's what gets you hooked. Once you've driven a faster car, you're hooked. You're hooked for life, and you just keep building more, and you keep wanting to go faster. But there's some interesting little data topics on some bits and pieces. I'll try to keep it pretty short. And yeah, so going forward with this car, I'm going to change the diff gears out. I really would like to go to bigger turbo or swap to twins, but it's I'm trying to build a couple of other cars, so I'm trying not to put too much time and effort, money into that one. But yeah, this is for my ute, obviously. Those who didn't pick up on that earlier, it's from BUMPIN, the black ute with the green stripes. But there you go. I'll try to keep these data up logs and a bit of tuning and stuff in the episode each week. But thank you for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. Just here inside the trailer. I bet you guys didn't know I had a Beetle. Don't like to admit that. Most people tease me. But it's a 63 Baja bug actually. I don't know if you can see it. It's all jacked up with big mud tyres and stuff on it. Some people are still sitting there going, still gay. But yeah, I don't mind the old Beetle. That's a story for another day. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Don't forget, use up your VPW discount. Use the code word. There's a code word. Pretty simple. You should know it. And you got till June 21, so make it count. And thanks again for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Appreciate the support. Appreciate all the new subscribers. And yeah, the watch numbers are going through the roof. I've got heaps and heaps of views, which is great. Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for the support. Hope you're enjoying the Monaro. Sorry, it hasn't been too much happening on the Monaro today that I've been able to film for this episode, but that'll come. We got parts on the way, and it's ready for a freight train of a run home to get it all sorted out. So thank you. Take it easy. Stay tuned.